Hi everybody, this is Boog Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new Neca Ultimate Puppet Master 6-Shooter and Jester 2-pack. So before we take a look at Jester, let's go ahead and take a look at 6-Shooter and all of his accessories. So first up, 6-Shooter comes with his hat. I do wish it was a little bit of a tighter fit. It's kind of loose on his head. It's staying on right now, but during this review I bet it's going to fall off. Up next, he comes with this set of accessory holding hands, but it won't hold any of the accessories that he comes with. These don't have trigger fingers for his 6-shooters. He does actually have trigger finger hands. It's just kind of weird that they gave us these hands and they don't hold any of the accessories. I would have preferred them just to be fisted hands. Up next, he comes with a set of open hands. Up next, he comes with proper accessory holding hands. Up next, he comes with his 6-shooters. As you can see, he has holsters for all 6 of them, and they stay in there very nicely. And he can hold them very well in each of his hands. His finger can actually go through the trigger of all 6 of them, and I am very happy about that. He looks very, very awesome holding all of his 6-shooters. So now let's go ahead and take a closer look at his head sculpt. Neca did an amazing job at sculpting this. I love that expression he has on his face. That just looks very nice. All the details on his face are printed on, like the mustache and the teeth. You can see that his gold tooth is printed on there. It really stands out and looks very nice. Neca just did an awesome job on this head sculpt. The bandana has some really nice paint detail to it. It looks very nice. You could actually put this up on his face like this, and I think that looks really good. But from the side, you can see that it's sticking out from his face and looks a little funny. I do wish we would have gotten a head sculpt with the bandana sculpted on. I do appreciate that this is a separate piece and you can actually put it up on his face, but when you look at it from the side, it looks really funny. From the front there, it looks really good, but from the side, it looks just a little funny. He has some very, very nice sculpted detail, especially to his vest there. It is textured very nicely. You can see the little buttons and the buckle are done in gold. That looks very nice. He has a little bit of sculpt detail to his holsters. They have a little bit of texturing there, some leather-like texturing. He has some really nice sculpted wrinkles to his sleeves. I do wish we would have gotten just a little bit of paint variation on them. Maybe a little bit of gray printed on. I think that would have looked nice. But he does have some good sculpt regardless. The pants have some really, really nice texturing. I feel like it also has a little bit of a lighter blue tone painted over top of it. You can see how it's kind of lighter here at the knees and here at the thighs. I'm not sure if that's intentional, but it looks like there's a lighter blue painted over top of that dark blue. And his boots have a little bit of texturing to them, and they have the spurs on the back. Those are sculpted really nicely and done in a very nice silver color. So now let's go ahead and go over his articulation. He has a ball-jointed head that can look up all the way. He can't really look down all the way. He can move his head side to side very nicely and all the way around. All of his shoulders move out all the way very nicely. It is a little bit awkward since he does have 6 arms, but he does have some nice articulation there. He has single-jointed elbows that can bend all the way in, and on these hands they have a swivel that moves side to side and a hinge up and down. The rest of the hands for this figure just move side to side and up and down. They don't have that hinge joint. He has a ball-jointed diaphragm and waist that can move all the way back. He can crunch forward just about all the way. He can move side to side very nicely up here and side to side down here at the waist. He has ball-jointed hips that can do a complete split. He can kick forward all the way. He can kick back all the way. He has a very nice thigh swivel. Single-jointed knees that can bend back all the way. Ankles that can move down all the way, up all the way, and a nice ankle rocker. So yeah, he is articulated very nicely for being such a tiny figure. And he feels really sturdy. None of the joints feel stiff or brittle. He feels really sturdy, and I'm happy about that. I can't say the same about Jester, though. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Jester and his accessories. So first up, Jester comes with his Jester hat, and this doesn't sit on the figure at all. It's very irritating. It kind of just rests on there. The opening isn't deep enough to actually grip onto his head, so it doesn't want to stay. It just wants to fall off constantly. And I really don't like that. I think it should have been a softer material, and the opening should have been just a little bit deeper so you could actually get it staying on his head. But yeah, the only way it actually stays is if you just rest it on there. The second you move it, this is going to drop off. So that is pretty unfortunate. Up next, he comes with these wider open accessory holding hands. Up next, he comes with this scalpel. Has just a little bit of sculpt detail to it, but it looks very nice. It's a little bit wider, so that's what you want to use these wider gripping hands for. Up next, he comes with his Maraud, and this is sculpted very, very nicely. The handle to it is just a bit wider than his next accessory, so that's why you want to use the wider open hands for this accessory as well. You can see the sad theater face on the back, and then spin it around and see the happy one. That looks very nice. Up next, he comes with smaller accessory holding hands for holding the tenderizer mallet and the tenderizer mallet, and that looks very nice. It's sculpted very well. I think this is probably the accessory that I'm going to leave with him. I just really like the way this looks. Up next, he comes with this devious grinning head sculpt, and I love the way this looks. The paint variation there on the cheeks and around the eyes, that looks very good. The one thing that I'm super bummed about, though, is the head is one solid piece. Originally, all of these segments were supposed to spin, just like in the movie. But yeah, now it doesn't. It probably would have been super, super fragile if they did that. I could have seen a lot of people breaking that, probably myself included. That probably would have been a nightmare, especially switching the heads out. Switching the heads out and having all of these segments that move would have been a recipe for disaster. So while I'm bummed about these segments not moving, it's probably for the best that it doesn't. My only real complaint is since these are one piece, I do feel like they should have had some black paint down in them. I feel like that would have really made the segments pop there. Up next, he comes with this shocked head sculpt, and I love the way this looks. That expression looks great. And finally, he comes with this sad head sculpt, and it looks just as good as the previous head sculpts. My only complaint is the head doesn't sit perfectly on the peg. It is a super tight fit, and you can see that it's not flush to the torso right there. You can see there's gappage because I couldn't get it down all the way. This figure is so thin, and the joints feel so fragile, so I'm definitely not going to force it. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the figure. The sculpted detail on Jester's suit is phenomenal. You get some texturing here to the shirt, and I'm not sure if it's cast in black and painted red or vice versa, but whatever it is, it looks very nice. It almost looks like it has a wash to it, and that looks very cool. The sleeves are also sculpted phenomenally. It really looks like what he wears in the movie. It almost looks like realistic fabric. If the sculpt wasn't interrupted by this joint, I think it would look pretty realistic to the fabric that he wears in the movie. It's textured very nicely. The gold lines came out very clean. The joints are painted on. You can see where the joint's painted on up here, but the lower joint, the paint on it has already started to chip as I've moved the figure around. On top of having some really nice sculpted wrinkles on the pants, you get some really cool texturing, and then you get his bright gold boots. Sculpted and painted very nicely. That collar really stands out. I kind of wish his belt buckle would have been done in this color because it stands out so much, but it's not. And then there's the back of the figure. It looks really, really nice, but man, it feels really fragile. So now let's go ahead and go over the articulation. He has a ball-jointed neck that can look up just about all the way. He can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side. He has shoulders that can only move out that far. Double jointed elbows that can bend in all the way. Swivel thrusts that can move side to side. And I really can't move them up and down very much. These wrist joints feel particularly brittle, so I don't want to force that. He has a ball jointed waist that can move back just a little bit. Down just a little bit. Can move side to side. He has ball-jointed hips that can do a complete split. He can kick forward that far. He can kick back just a little bit. He has a very slight thigh swivel. He has single-jointed knees that can move back that far. He has swivel to boot that can move side to side, but it is a very crunchy joint. I am scared to move that. And he has ankles that can move down all the way, up all the way, and a nice ankle rocker. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here they are next to Tunneler. Here they are next to Torch. Here they are next to Blade. And finally, there they are next to Pinhead. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up because Neca did a very awesome job on these figures. I've been looking forward to them forever, and Neca did a fantastic job on them. I think that 6-Shooter is definitely the star of this set. I do like Jester, and he has some very nice sculpt detail, but the joints on the figure feel so brittle, I am really afraid to move him around. And of course, the head doesn't have the spinning segments like it showed on the package, and that Jester's hat does not want to stay on. I bumped it when I was doing my size comparisons, and it wants to fall off. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to find a way to get that to stay on his head. So despite those complaints, I would still highly recommend picking this up because I think Neca did a really awesome job on these, and I look forward to more Puppet Master figures in the future. I believe Leech Woman is supposed to be out sometime this year. If the plans didn't get changed, I believe she's supposed to be next, a pack with her in it. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.